Alright, hi guys, this is Rich. I am doing the screencast for Fantasy Blade, the pilot. This is milestone 9. And let me just show you right here on the RCA. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's going to instruct you to move. I'm just going to hit it, and you move towards the light. This is the tutorial level. You can see the instructions right there. They should be legible. If you touch, all you have to do is click on the guard, and it's going to tell you great job, and it's going to conclude the pilot, or the tutorial. Okay, and then that just takes you right to level 1, so you can see where that fits in. I'm going to demonstrate also the new battle stuff. Give me a second here. Okay, so here is what the new battle layout looks like. You can see there have been some major changes. You can see the HP bar is underneath. Let me pull up the actual assignment so I can read off what we're supposed to have. So you can see the, one second here. HP bar has been moved underneath the characters. We added a button to each character so that if you touch them, you get a window displaying their stats. And that's also true of the enemy. Alright. Let's see, what else are we doing? We've removed the side windows. You can see that those are gone. We did not do the slide out menu. We replaced it with new kind of format for the UI. So we replaced it with we updated that button and we brought it into alignment with the rest of the UI, and I've been updating the other buttons to look more friendly. We've rearranged it. You can see flee is last on the end there. You can also see that heal and attack have been moved around in the sub-menu, and that text has been removed from the bottoms. Okay, so that actually explains everything that we want to get to in that. I'm going to upload a version on the Shield as well. But I do want to answer the rest of the questions and make sure that I'm taking this point by point. Because I've been, I guess, a little lackadaisical about responding to things in numerical order. Okay, so just stating the milestone. Okay, so I've done that in the other videos. I've stated the milestones. What we're doing here is we're developing we're responding to the feedback that we got about the UI, and we're incorporating it. So the milestone itself involved reforming, especially the game UI, the battle UI, to take up less screen space and to make it look better, and to make it more functional. And so, you know, I went through point by point. I think I actually covered that pretty well. Okay, so I just demonstrated that on the RCA, and that's why I'm doing the cast like this, because the RCA can't record. I'll demonstrate it on a Shield too, but that's obviously much easier to do. Okay, so obviously this just makes our game prettier. And, you know, we've come back to this a couple times, making the game look better and function better, and making sure that, you know, it's pleasing for the player. And, you know, I think we're getting there. You know, UI is something that I was new to at the beginning of this program, so little by little, I've developed that. And I think that this latest iteration's the best yet, and you know, that's something that I think is good to say, because you always want to be moving forward and in the direction of having something a little bit better each time. And I think we've gotten something a lot better here. I think the buttons look smoother. It looks less cluttered and crammed. It functions very well in terms of still preserving the actual numerics and the data, so that players who want to see that can, but players who don't care don't have to, and they don't have to worry about that. And hitting those two core audiences is great. I mean, I think that's quite the accomplishment. So how this fits into the larger picture as a whole would basically be, I guess, in two parts. The tutorial, it just makes it so that the players can very quickly learn how to use the controls in a safe environment, and the UI reforms make the game look better and therefore make it more appealing aesthetically. State the criterion you used for determining if the milestone was complete. Okay, so I just checked off the list one by one, making sure that we were preserving that data. That for the first one, for the tutorial, what I wanted to do was to get something that the player could do in under 30 seconds, so that they're not stuck in tutorial levels forever. I wanted to move through the tutorial very quickly, so I just asked myself, what are the most basic tasks that we want the player to be able to do, and then how do we explain that very quickly? And I think we accomplished that. So, I put it in front of a couple people, and I asked them to play, and I said, do you get how to play now? And they said yes, and so, that's how I determined whether it was done or not. Was just, did it serve that quick 30-second function? And then, the aesthetics was just, it was processing the feedback and turning it into, something that I could actually do. So, determining where that was done was just a matter of whether or not I had completed everything on the list. And, that was developed based on that feedback that we got at the beginning of the month. Will I need to revisit this? Yes. Will I need to revisit this milestone in the future? There are things about it I'm actually finishing up now. They weren't officially on the milestone, but of course I've changed all the buttons over to look more appealing. I've started working on the menu a little more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convert that over so that I'm using anchors instead of fixed points. And then I'm going to change the buttons to match the buttons that I've added. So they're not going to be as harsh. They're going to be softer and more rounded like those. And they're going to have the gray instead of the black as well. So that should make the game a little less harsh. So yeah, there's still some things that I'm going to work on that relate to what I was doing here. But in terms of the actual things, I think the tutorial's pretty good, and I think, we moved everything around to the point where I'm comfortable with. So I don't think I'm going to be revisiting that part specifically. I've shown you the code in other videos. Okay. Yes, there was nothing. Discuss any challenges. Okay, so this was a pretty easy milestone all in all. I mean, again, it's processing feedback, and it's cumbersome in that this is the time-consuming part. It doesn't require a whole lot of thinking, but it does require a lot of sitting and doing. And, I think we did that pretty well. Is this representative of advanced programming? Well, I mean, this is pretty simple programming. I mean, I don't think there was anything too hard to it. I think the master level of this part of it is developing the eye. To start to see what is aesthetically pleasing and incorporating, what we learned in the UI lessons in months 5 and 6 to improve the game and to take that feedback to a place where it's, it affects change in the game. It changes what needs to be changed. So, I mean, I think that it's not necessarily advanced programming, but it is, it is mastery of the subject matter. It is a step towards mastery of the subject matter that we're working within. At the end of the screencast, okay, so I already showed it to you on one device. I'm going to do a screencast from the shield itself. I don't know, I was having some problems with the audio, so that might just be muted, but it'll just show you what it looks like on the shield. So I've answered all the questions here. At this point, it doesn't need much explanation. I've showed the code, I've showed everything shown. Alright, so let me know if you have any questions, and I'll meet with you tomorrow. Thank you.